What's going on today, guys? Before we jump into today's video, I just want to say thank you guys for liking and subscribing to the channel. It's almost blown up in a sense, and I'm really happy about it. So thanks to all you guys that have. And if you're just viewing this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We got a lot in store for this truck. Right now, we're almost done mocking up all these suspension components. And then after that, everything's getting stripped and off of the truck and going to paint. And while it's at paint, we'll be putting a 12-valve Cummins in the truck just to kind of bring the build together. So today we're going to be figuring out where this track bar mounts on the truck. We're going to try and get it lined up to where it should be, because once we do that, everything else needs to come back apart to finish drilling the holes. So we got a couple more holes to drill in the 4-link mounts, but in order to do that, pretty much everything has to come back off. And also with the coil buckets, there's more holes to drill in those, so we'd have to pull the coil spring to do that. So we're going to do this today. That way, whenever we go to drill everything, we can do it all at once and not go all over the place with it. Alright guys, so we started messing around with this track bar mount, and we got it mocked up pretty much to where it's going to have to be. None of these holes actually really line up with any holes in the frame or anything, which it's not an OBS frame, and that's what Sky's kind of basically based it off of, which is fine. So this middle hole here in the track bar mount pretty much lines up with this little nipple thing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grind this down so it sits flush, and eventually we'll somehow get a bolt through there to put through this hole so it's mounted safe. Also, it interferes with this coil bucket. So this white line here, we're going to go ahead and cut that out and just come up to this here. Now, the only reason I'm okay with doing that is, I mean, there's 8 other holes in it for us to put bolts through, so I'm not really worried about just losing one hole. So we're going to go ahead and do all that, and then we'll get back with you guys after that. Alright guys, real quick, just wanted to show you guys this. This is the rivet that was in the way of the track bar mount. So we went ahead and cut the bottom of it off, and we were just going to leave it there, but it ended up being something we could knock out pretty easily. So we went ahead and took a hammer and a punch and knocked it out through the top, and it did end up being 2 pieces, as you can see. This was just like an inner piece, and this was like a sleeve for it. So just to let you guys know, in case you're going to do anything like this, it's a 2-piece, and it came out pretty easy. Alright guys, so we went ahead and mounted the track bar up. We used 1 bolt where that rivet was, just to have it sitting there, and then we pushed it up against the frame to where it's going to sit, and then we went ahead and marked where the holes are going to be. So now we're going to get to drilling. We got that track bar pretty much mounted. We got 3 holes drilled for it, so we know where it's going to sit. Now the rest of the holes, the axle is kind of in the way of it, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and drop the axle, get it out of the way. That way, also, when we're drilling these other holes for the coil buckets and the track bar mounts for the 4-link, it's not just choppy between drilling holes and disconnecting stuff, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So we got the leveling kit in today, so we'll be putting that on today as well. All it is on the axle, right where the coil spring sits onto the axle. There's one bolt in the center of that, and you just pull that out, and the mount for it, or the seat for the coil spring, it'll just come right up, and then you'll put this in between there. And this kit came with bolts for it somewhere. Oh, here they are. Came with bolts for it. So, and then these will just go right through there and thread into the axle. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into getting all that done. Alright guys, so our drill bit got pretty dull from drilling through the frame, so instead of just going and buying a new one, there's something called a drill bit sharpener. So we went to Lowe's and got one real quick, and we're going to go ahead and sharpen this drill bit that we're using to drill through the frame for the right bolt size. What's going on, guys? So we got all the holes drilled. We got all 19 holes drilled today. It was 7.5 hours of drilling, so it wasn't easy. But this rigid drill we had, big beefy thing, made this cake. So I'm beyond thankful that my uncle lent this to us just for this. It made this so much easier than any other drill we've used. So that's all done. Everything's ready to go, get bolted up tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to have to go to the hardware store and get some washers. I think that's it. There wasn't enough washers in the Skies kit. So we'll go get those tomorrow, and we'll catch you then. What's going on, guys? It is Friday. We just got back from the hardware store getting a bunch of washers and a couple bolts. So we are going to go ahead and jump into tightening up the rest of the Skies kit since we got all the holes drilled yesterday. And we'll catch up with you after that. What's going on, guys? So we now have the entire Skies kit put on. We had to finagle with the track bar mount just a little bit, but we're all good to go there. So on these coil buckets with the Skies bolts, there's these bolts that would go under here. Same thing on the other side. Back here on this shock mount side, the bolt that would go here on the bottom hits this one here, and it's the same on the other side. Also with the 4-link mount, the bolt that goes right under here hits this bolt out here when you put it through. So all we did was we cut the bolts down just a little bit, and everything's good to go there now. So now we're going to go ahead and put the axle back in its place and go from there. Alright guys, real quick, we're sitting here trying to get this coil spring in, and yes, the axle is on the ground. Alright guys, so as you just saw, we went ahead and got the front axle in, ready to go. We got our Skies Off-Road rear shackle kit, and it came with bushings and the sleeves. We did have to go and get our own hardware though, so we went into the hardware store again and got bolts and nuts and washers and everything for it, so we're going to go ahead and throw that on real quick and go from there. So the Sky stuff all went together real good. We got all the front suspension from the Sky stuff tightened up. I am going to have to get an adjustable track bar. It is a little bit too short to reach this track bar mount, obviously. So I'll be looking to get either an adjustable one, but in all honesty, guys, the truck's not big enough for me. I want to go bigger. So I'm going to end up having to get a fully custom track bar. But to see how much bigger I'm going, you guys are going to have to stick around and find out. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe for me. Let me know what you guys think. And I will catch you guys next time.